It's week 1 in the Electrosports Gridiron League, and we're getting our first look at the Nomads taking on Failurewood Hills. Failurewood Hills in blue, and we've only got highlights from this one before we get to our main event of the game. But let's look at how these two teams are shaping up. Failurewood Hills here having trouble all day, it's safe to say. Mike Grenade there getting sacked, and it won't be for the last time. Trent Russell's there doing the damage. Nomads taking control here early in the first quarter, and a lovely reception by Spongebath, who immediately outpaces the defence of Failurewood for a lovely 52-yard touchdown. Thank you very much. Back in possession with the Failurewood team. Trying a nice run here, and a Salinas breaking tackles, spin moves galore. I think that was probably his best performance of the day, but it wasn't enough for the team to make the difference. As back in possession again, Mike Grenade, as soon as he can't see an open receiver, he starts to flounce around a little bit, starts to panic, and it's a disaster. Speaking of disasters, how's that for a punt? 5 yards off a punt. Friends, if you can only kick it 5 yards, might I suggest instead you go for it. We're now looking at Sledgehammer Esquire there, who burned upfield on a 54-yard run. A massive gap opening up for them. And 2 plays later, smashing it in there with Juan Summoner for a 2-yard touchdown. 14-0 the score here in the second quarter. Grenade, again, looking for players, can't find one. It's not that he's a bad quarterback, it's just that he doesn't have the support necessary. Now, we talked about bad punting. Let's talk about good punting. Failurewood here, punting inside the 5. We'll pick up the action here for a couple of plays. Nomads backed up right into their end zone. Can't find an open player. And sacked at the 1 there. Chill Bill Blankowski getting in on the action. But we're not done yet. 2nd and 14. Going for it again. Now playing it safe and going for a run this time. But no, stuffed at the line. Linebacker coming in and making the play. And they're still in trouble. Beautiful work. A lovely piece of defence from the Failurewood team. Who have built their lineup in a very different way to other teams in the league. In that what they've gone with is spreading the points around pretty much evenly amongst all the players on the team. It means that they don't have any star players, and that kind of thing really resonates off plays like this, where had time to pass, made the throw, and the open receiver couldn't catch it. Just disgraceful. Coming up towards the end of the half now, and some actual bright moves. Blankowski again making an impact there on the defence. As we move into the second half, the Nomads never looking like they weren't in control. A nice grab and go there by fullback Summoner. Arguably the best fullback in the league when it comes to performance. And you see, look, Salinas, he's just not got the power, he's not got the speed to get around the outside of the line. And as such, he's getting wrapped up more often than not. That evidenced by 0 for 4 third down attempts. Making it 0 for 5. Lots of tackles for loss being inflicted on the team. Nomads doing slightly better on third down, but arguably their most productive play came from these third downs. Spongebath, again, another reception, another touchdown for him. Wasn't used that much in the game, but when you're up 30-0, why would you bother just going to your star player? Spread around a little bit. And then, of course, if you can do this on a punt return, everyone's going to be your friend. The Sledgehammer there, 61 yards on the return. Nothing doing on the defence on that one. Punt returns, it looks like punt returns may be slightly easier to execute than kick returns. Another nice pass, but this one actually for Failurewood. Probably their best pass of the game. 54-yard catch by Gary Rubber. But the receivers are just so inconsistent. It's very hard to say for sure where they're going to find any kind of seam of offense. And of course it took them until the second half, until the final quarter in fact, before they found any kind of scoring at all. Kirk McTwist there, getting the touchdown, taking the score 38-8, avoiding the shutout, but just not good enough. And then you make the comparison with Sledgehammer Esquire. And you can see these two teams really are ill-matched, and I think Failurewood are going to struggle all season as they just lack the talent to make headway. So Failurewood narrowly avoiding the shutout, but they are shut down as the Nomads inflict a 46-8 point defeat on the home team. It's not what you want to see as we look at the stats. And, well, I mean, it says it all. Took until the fourth quarter for Failurewood to actually land a touchdown. Brad Commissar for the Nomads passing 5 for 5, 156 yards. Failurewood, Mike Grenade, not awful. 6 of 10, 144 yards. I think the weakness came up when they took it to the ground, as they did repeatedly. As you compare the numbers between Esquire for the Nomads, 12 attempts, 152 yards. Salinas, 11 attempts, 57 yards. A third of the yards off one fewer attempt. Just not ideal. Receiving wise, you're looking at Sponge Bath with 3 receptions for 113 yards. Pretty impressive all round for the Nomads. Our second featured game of the week sees the Stardozer Human Resources away to the Grazer Ridge team. And what we know from pre-season is that Johnny Touchdown on Grazer Ridge is a heck of a player. Not much on that opening kickoff, but let's go to the first real play of the game. And you can see exactly what kind of impact a player with touchdown speed can have on a secondary that really doesn't have the pace to keep up with him. He's away. First play from scrimmage. And Johnny Touchdown, a 72-yard reception. It's pretty magical. Not the last one of those we'll see either. And that's not to say that the Human Resources team are lacking. Far from it. They've got talent all over the field, but right in the centre of the secondary is Eunice Ultramarines, who goes on to have a heck of a game, shutting down that centre pass route. But as I say, look at this. This is the running of Fiona Cannula. They're bouncing off tackles left, right and centre, making a hard-won 34-yard run. And just a couple of plays later, looking for the end zone. And that's Dutch Retro guy there, the tight end, snagging his touchdown there to keep the game all square. Locking this one in with a nice 2-point conversion to keep it 8-8 here midway through the first quarter. Very nice. This is a good fight, this one, and well worth keeping an eye on. Going to the very next play, and that's the kickoff. And it's going to miss the touchdown again. I did say we'd be seeing some more of him. And look at the eyesight there. Look at the vision. Sees the gap, goes through the gap, and then no one can keep pace with him. Touchdown there, running the kickoff straight back to the end zone. And you've got to find a way to stop a player like that, or they're just going to burn you all day. Meanwhile, back over on the Stardozer team, it's tough play. They have players who can break tackles all day long, Cannula and Retro guys specifically. But also Brooke Liability, the receiver, who we get to see in action for the first time there. 39 yards and a touchdown. This is the kind of game that turns into a shootout, and it ends up being the first one to blink that causes all the trouble. There he is again as the first quarter winds down. Touchdown. Another touchdown for him. 74 yards on that one. 2 receptions, both of them going 70-plus yards. Insane. Another handoff, but this time it's Gunship getting the duty there for Stardozer. It stopped at the line. And one of Stardozer's problems was the number of third downs they had to take over the course of the game. And then, of course, when you give up a return, it's just painful. Bernadette Mistakes there, making her first impact on the scoreline. 2 of 3 third down conversions for Stardozer. Here's a critical one here. And once again, it's Ultramarines making it happen. Just stuffing it there, the strong safety. But this led to an unusual move, attempted field goal, and Nigel Prison there had the range, but his accuracy was just off. Unlucky. Would have kept them slightly more competitive. Yeah, I don't think we've seen this play before, haven't we? Have we seen this play before? Touchdown. He's so fast that he burns past his initial cover and then has the depth and has the quarterback ready to make the throw and make it all happen. Meanwhile, his retro guy again. I mean, look at the breaking tackles going on there. The Stardozer team are just tough. They are a tough team. This, as the second quarter winds down, led to this field goal from prison. No mistakes this time. Yes, it's only from 31 yards, but a perfectly executed field goal. Over into the second quarter now. And once again, Ultramarines shutting down that centre line. In fact, that wasn't even Ultramarines. That was the free safety Brash Witness making the stop on that one. And when you start to look at fourth downs coming into effect, then a stop in that kind of field position leads to an easy touchdown. Bernadette mistakes there, getting the reception here. Having a couple of good receivers, making a big difference. But here's liability. I mean, I said this was a tough team and they weren't going to be easy to bring down. They just aren't. Every player on this team, it seems, can break tackles left, right and centre. And that's keeping this one closer than it should be. Big sack there as in the second half, the Stardozer team start to step up their own defence to try and bring themselves back into the game. Under pressure, Nova Wild, the quarterback there, and a deflected pass. Josie Wales getting into the action. Stardozer taking over. Not a bad performance from them at all. They just look capable. Very capable. There's Brook Liability, third touchdown of the afternoon. 5 receptions, 3 touchdowns. Those are the kinds of stats that you want. But Grazer Ridge are just consistent. By which I mean they've got 2 receivers who will just tear through you. If you let them get underneath, they've gone. And that's trouble. But, you know, still all to play for here in the fourth quarter. 48 to Grazer Ridge, 33 to Stardozer. And they keep trying it over the middle, and Ultramarines has just sat there going, go on then, try it. Now, that play brought up this third down. 3 of 6 third down conversions for the Human Resources team. And they're going to try the same thing. It's not going to happen. It's not going to work. You can't do that. I mean, you'd say it was bad play calling, but frankly, it's just an area of the field that's shut down. This called up a fourth down attempt. Only need 3 yards to convert it. But this is where games are won and lost. Look at that. Just another shutdown pass. The pass deflected by Ultramarines again. And that gives them, of course, great field position. And a couple of plays later, they get touchdown. He makes one spin move and he's into the end zone. Where you give up field position like that and you're going to end up in trouble. Stardozer couldn't score anything further. And we get one more look here at the Grazer Ridge offense. And it's Jar Jar Binks, their tight end, who puts the nail in the coffin. So a lopsided looking game as Grazer Ridge win this one 61 points to 33. Not that Stardozer were particularly bad. I mean, if you look at the first down stats alone, 11 first downs for Stardozer. But Grazer Ridge only needed 2 in order to ratchet up the score. Problems came as Stardozer tried to pull themselves back into the game as they failed on subsequent fourth down attempts and gave away easy touchdowns. Add that to a couple of return touchdowns as well, and the whole thing's a bit of a mess. Into our featured game of the week, and the Port Miggins Pirates are away to the Sunshine Funbus, who will be getting the ball first. That's Deck Chair there with the return. Nothing. Could these teams have slightly more similar uniforms, do you think? I mean, I'm just saying, maybe they're a little bit close to one another. Anyway, first chance to have a look at the Funbus offense here. Looking for the pass. A nice take there, and it's Party Boy who gets the 9-yard reception, bringing up a second one. And it's all good. Early days yet. We're playing 5-minute quarters here. I would expect to see both teams breaking 400 yards without breaking a sweat. What a catch! It's Party Boy again, and he's got the legs. But can he go all the way? A dive there, you see, would have been good. Either way, though, 57 yards off that one. That will please the team undoubtedly. And we're looking for the first score of the game off this one. Steps back to pass, wide open. Hannibal Panache, 3 yards and a touchdown. And the scoring has commenced. And Sunshine Funbus looking for 2 here off this one. And wait for it. There it is. Callista deck chair making it happen. And that's an 8-point lead. Well, now the Pirates are going to get the opportunity to respond to that. Just 1 minute 10 on that drive. Well, I mean, we know that this is a game that really does favour the wide open pass play, or a running back who can properly scamper and find the holes. But we'll see what the Pirates have got up their sleeves, as it's Will Smith back to pass, and not a lot there. Bam Bam Puckeye instigating. That's a new word. He's been well and truly instigated there. And that won't be ideal. 2nd and 11. Smith looking for the receiver. In the flat. Nice breaking tackles there is Apex Majestic. First defender had nothing. But that's a 3rd and 3. A stop here could trigger the punt, but it depends how aggressively the Pirates are deciding to play. Man across the middle. Maybe pass to him. Oh, okay. Go pass to someone else if I can. Majestic, 5 yards. The drive is still in action. We've yet to see the Pirates attempt to hit Anis, their #1 receiver, but it's only a matter of time. And wait for it. Ooh, a little bit of danger up the middle there as the defensive tackle breaks through. Couldn't see which one it was. One of them. Yeah, I'll only really know who it is if they actually make a tackle. It's an unconventional formation we've got going on here. And that's Bum Soz, the tight end there, taking the reception, 23 yards. Well, okay, maybe not as explosive as their opponents so far, but consistent, certainly. And it's another 1st down. And they're running that unconventional trips formation. That's Djiboutin Frank there with his first carry, only 1 yard. But a good solid run, if not particularly effective. As we get the 2nd down. Smith looking, throwing, catching. It's Majestic. He's not quick enough to make it all the way, but another 23 yards to add to his total for the day. That will certainly be appreciated by the fans and the manager alike, as we're now inside the red zone, and the pink helmets of the Pirates looking for trouble. Trouble found. Haley Oliveira there instigating a 9-yard loss on the sack. Brutal. Well, this was the 9th play of this drive. You don't see drives this long. Forget it. There you go. Anis. Yeah, we were waiting for that. There's the catch, touchdown, and so forth. What are they going for? They're going for the 2-pointer. Running 5 wideouts on this one. And what have they got? Deflected. That's what they've got. Well, Will Smith, 81 yards on his first drive, and the touchdown to wrap it up. We're expecting to see Smith as one of the highest performers over the course of the league, over the course of the season, over the course of his lifetime, because he is widely regarded as a quarterback, and this is a pass-first kind of a team. Funbus take over, leading, as they do, in the final minutes of the first quarter by 8 points to 6. Now, are they going to go for it all straight away? Yes. This party boy again. He's proper shifty, that one. He's gone. 73 yards, taking him over 100 for the day already, and a touchdown. Well, why muck about trying to put together a coherent drive? I've always said, why not just score straight away? It's far more compelling. And looking for 2. And they've got the 2 again. Deck chair making it happen. 16 points now to the Funbus, and we're going to need something lively from the Pirates if they're going to stay competitive in this one. Monkey Cage with the kick. It's probably the only time we're going to see Monkey Cage. Doesn't look like he's got much range. Anis with the return. 14 yards. And it's just, forget it. No, the returner's not finding the gaps as well as you might hope. Anyway, Smith, the first touch for this second possession. And passes straight out to Anis for another 5 yards. I was mistaken before when I said we hadn't seen Anis before. They'd made a little cheap and cheerful dink and dunk kind of catch earlier on. And with the quarterback run for 2 yards, Will Smith there putting himself in harm's way. Okay. You're lucky there's no injuries in this game. If there were, you would be getting some. Probably soon, too. Okay, well, it's third down. Out to the flat. Run straight into traffic. Bam Bam Puckeye, second tackle for loss for the day. Linebacker making herself known. And this is the fourth down. And we will see the punting unit for the first time. It's Charlie, 2 shots. Wangs it up into the air. We are going to get a return. And it's a good return as well. Yep. And touchdown. And it's that Puckeye again, who's working on a MVP kind of a situation with the punt return for touchdown and 2 tackles for loss. Very zesty. Very zesty, the cornerback making it happen. And they're in for 2 again, this time on the ground. Well, are the Funbus running away with it? Well, they look to be, based on the scoreline, but it's still early days in the second quarter. So, you know, there's plenty of time to make that kind of decision. Another nothing return there from Anis. I think it's probably looking for the vision stat on players as to whether or not they can identify those clear lines of attack. But we've not seen it yet. Smith, plenty of time. Gets the pass off. Oh, breaking tackles from Black Flyme. I mean, they only got to Frank there after he'd had 3 or 4 people bounce off him. At which point they brought the cavalry in and took him down. But 19 yards, that was pretty flaming solid. Let's see if we can see it again. Oh, wait, no. And out of bounds. Short. Yep, they've gone to him again. Another 13 yards. Well, he's a tough guy. And therefore, we expect tough guy runs from a tough guy, kind of a running back. But we're not seeing the kind of explosive play that I'd anticipated from this team. I was expecting Smith to be all guns a-blazing. But he's on the run. It's Will Smith, everybody, on a 29-yard scamper, evading trouble the entire distance. And he's not going to last the season if he continues running. But if he continues running like that, maybe he will. And given that there's no injuries, he almost certainly will. Right, dropping back to pass again. And it's Anis. Into the touchdown, second of the day. 5 receptions so far. Pretty impressive. Not a staggering number of yards, but they are getting it done. Going for 2. They're going to need the 2 here. And it's all right. Green Radical stopped that one. Almost a sort of semi-pitch. It wasn't really far enough out to be called a pitch. Out to the right-hand side there. And as much as Frank is a tough old guy, he can't do much when there's 3 tacklers coming in to give him a pasting. So he took a pasting. Okay, 2 minutes 30 remaining in the half. And the Funbus are well and truly in the driving seat. Let's see if they... Oh, up the middle. Very tasteful. Callista Deckchair there on a 12-yard run. That'll be her first run of the day. And it was solid. Massive great hole in the line to run through. With a little bit of lead blocking action from the fullback too. It's the reverse to the receiver. Yeah, it's 2 yards. Yeah, okay. I mean, that's chancy, but if that's the kind of play you want to run, then so be it. I guess with a bit of a lead going on, they are trying to soften the clock up. Although, if they want another score this quarter, might want to get a shake on. They're shaving the points off the clock nicely inside the 2-minute warning. 1:33 left in the half. What's it going to be? That's Riviera, I expect, back to pass. Well, no one's open. He doesn't look like he's interested. Well, there we go. Everyone stood still there going, you throwing this or what? And Panache went, come on in. They don't seem to have noticed that I'm just stood here. And they get the touchdown. Well, that was semi-thrilling and semi-baffling, but it seemed to get the job done nonetheless. As they go for 2 once more. Sure, avoid the gap. Gap's optional. Deckchair, another 2-point conversion. And the Funbus are now up 32-12 with 1 minute 5 seconds remaining in the half. And the Pirates are going to run it back barely, not even making 10 yards. And then do some kind of short pass sort of deal that doesn't come off with very much. Well, let's see, shall we? There we go. Smith back in the pocket. Kind of a short pass. But this is Anis, their star player. Not quick enough to outrun. That was Bam Bam Puckeye on the close down there, and this could be a team who've actually got some cornerbacks that are worth anything. The majority of the league having opted to spend their points offensively rather than run anything else. Smith throwing deep. It's a big one. Majestic. End zone. 81 yards for the day. 45 on that catch. Solid performance, but they're going to need a lot more like it as that drags their score up to 18. And they look for the 2-point convert. Run the other way. I'm not kidding. Run it. You're going to run into Puckeye every single time. She's just there looking at you, going, come on in. And the kickoff. Doubtful we'll see anything here. There's 25 seconds. What am I talking about? I don't know. 25 seconds left in the quarter. 20 seconds now left in the quarter. In the half, even. So this is pretty much do or die time. Okay. Funbus, 213 yards in total so far today. And are they looking downtown? No, they're not. A solid pass. Party Boy again is fourth. 12 yards. Presumably a timeout was called there. 2 seconds left to go in the half. And surely they're going to go for it all. Nope, same play. Oh, spin move into death. Well, okay, yeah, no, very good. Yeah, you can claim the first down, but you needed a touchdown there. So at half-time, it's not looking great for the Pirates, trailing as they do, 18 points to 32. Let's get to the second half. Monkey Cage back to kick off for the Sunshine Funbus. Well, the Pirates are going to need at least one stop in this half. Probably two. And it's there, breaking a tackle only to run straight into another one. Snot ideal. Snot? No, snot ideal. Okay, well, here we go. First look at the Pirates here in the second half. And Smith has all the time in the world. That's a big throw. Annis there. 50 yards and climbing. Isn't going to make it the distance. 68 yards on the catch. Beautiful. But that does take them inside the 10? Yeah, inside the 10. First and goal, 7-yard line. Maybe Smith is starting to sharpen up a little bit, but we'll just have to see. And there's Annis again across the middle with a 7-yard touchdown. And this is looking pretty solid, but it's not looking rapid enough. That's the downside. But one stop on the Funbus, and the turn of events here could be turned in a completely different direction. But that's another blocked 2-point attempt. Oh, they're not going to be pleased about that. No. All right, Sunshine Funbus lead the Port Miggins Pirates 32 to 28. Here's Deck Chair with the return straight up the middle, bouncing off people, ending up under a pile of wounded players, if they were wounded, which I don't suspect they are. Now, are the Sunshine Funbus going to continue racking up the points, or are they going to try and eat the clock up a little? No, they're going for more. Downtown. Here goes Party Boy. Well, no one on the Pirates defense can catch him. 67-yard reception and another touchdown. Yeah, you'd probably want to figure out how to defend against that, or at least bring pressure on the quarterback so that kind of play doesn't open up. Deck Chair for 2. Well, it's a big event, this game. A big event. Big event. Here's the kickoff. And picked up there by Annis, who's running to the outside. Changes the mind. Straight in the middle. And the traditional pile of bodies is the end result there. Well, 1st and 10. And what are we going to see from Smith? Will it be a pass? It just might be. Oh, crikey. Well, okay. I mean, that was passing into danger, but Annis managed to come down with the ball, bringing up a 2nd and 1. And 5 receivers out there. Ooh. Okay. You'd almost call that a screen, were it not for Annis running inside again. I think they've got an affliction where they can only run to the right. That could be problematic. 3rd down now. And they are 1 of 2 today. Just as well that tackle was rubbish. Otherwise that would have been a stop. 6-yard catch. But honestly, break to the outside, you'd have been fine. There's so much more room there to breathe. Well, first down. Smith still in control. That's a nice catch. And that is Soz, the tight end, who's done well. Made another 13 yards. It's nice to see him spreading the ball around a bit. By my count, that's 4 separate receivers they've had. I mean, including the tight end and a halfback. Okay, but anyone who says Anis is not their top receiver is not paying attention to the stats, or the game, or my commentary. And therefore, I question exactly how much they are into this. Clearly not as much as you would hope. Smith, looking for danger. Has danger, and it was Anis. Danger Anis. Another 9-yard reception. 2nd and 1. Will we see anything different? They're running trips out of the left-hand side again. Right-hand side. Whatever side. Anis across the middle. Spin move. Touchdown. 4th touchdown of the day, and that's 200 yards for Emain. Anis. Nice one, Emain. Yeah. Someone's going to tell me it's pronounced Imani, or Amani, or Imane. Yeah, Imane. Anis there with the touchdown. Bam Bam Puckeye with yet another stop on the 2-pointer. Sunshine Funbus up 10. Unless we see a turnover or a 3 and out or something along those lines, I think the Pirates can just forget this one. Once again there, Deck Chair with a nice solid run, breaking the first tackle but bouncing into trouble on the others. Okay, 282 in the air for the Funbus so far today, and we're going to the ground. And rather than occupying the gap, run straight into the rather large visage of Buttercup Guns. Gets the first kind of defensive point of the day for the team. No points, obviously, but, a defensive success. Looking deep. He's got that one away to PowerPoint. And it's gone. Big score. Eric PowerPoint there, 66 yards. And his first touch of the day is a golden touchdown. Is there any other colour? Well, I mean, you may ask yourself that, and I'll give you the answer when I know for sure. But impressively, Riviera is 9 for 9 on passing so far today. Deck Chair's in for another 2 point. I mean, it's a formality at this point. 48-30. 35 seconds left in the third quarter. And, I don't need to spell it out, do I? No, I think this one's... I could probably switch off that now. You can go like, well, it's not my team, I'm not that bothered anymore. It's, yeah, okay, I've seen the way they play. Yeah. Gonna need to maybe be careful of that. As a pass to Imane over there in the middle. And, how do you stop the Funbus? Well, you get some people who can defend in the secondary, primarily. But if you haven't got that, or a compelling pass rush, that's good, that's interesting. That's dropped. All right, it's less interesting than I thought. Claudette Mostes there with a deflection. And that's impressive to see. Into the fourth quarter now. Pirates struggling, 3rd and 1. A sneaky little give it to Frank and chuck it up the middle there would probably do the job. But no, Frank's staying home. They're looking deep. It's Anis. Oh, it's a shocker. And it's a 67-yard touchdown. 16th catch of the day. Conclusions? Draw them for yourself. Going for 2, which would narrow the gap to 10. Yeah. No, missed. No, you can't blame anyone but yourself, Smith. That was a non-event of a throw. By which I mean it was rubbish. Yeah. Well, it's Lynch Hart back to kick off. Are we going to see anything spectacular from Deck Chair? No. We're going to see him get knocked out cold. Ah. All right, well, we're inside the fourth quarter now, and this one's over. It's done. Surely it's done. Unless we see something ruddy spectacular. Deck Chair there, 13 yards. Starting to put some yardage up. Would be nice to break 50 yards on the ground. That would demonstrate a team with more than one dimension. As it stands, we've got 5 touchdowns in the air and 348 yards. A good block. I saw that block. That was a good block, that one. And there's the 50 yards I was asking for. Thank you very much. That's solid. No, very nice. Good. Let's have some more of that. Yeah, that was some action. Although if we're just going to keep burning it up the middle... No, we're going to the outside. Okay, maybe we should go back up the middle. Yeah, only 5 yards on that one. Eating the clock up nicely. And this is some astute gameplay to keep the clock in motion. That was dangerous. Deck chair managed to pull it down, but that was well and truly in traffic. Had coverage going on aplenty there. But I think what we can safely assume is that these coverage animals that we've got going on here have precious few senses. Least of all, one that allows them to actually detect where the ball is, and that's Party Boy again. And that's his 3rd touchdown of the day. 264 yards off 7 receptions. Crikey. Yeah, that's a large number. Yeah, it's a large number. And for once, they are denied the 2 points. Todd Baubles there, the, I guess, middle linebacker. Certainly looked like middle linebacker, making the stop. Monkey Cage back to kick off. It's 54-36. Starting to get towards basketball scores now. And another 9-yard. If anyone asks what's Anis's favourite number, it's 9. That was a 9-yard return. Are we going to see a 9-yard reception? Well, there's the play. Oh! Penetration up the middle there. St. Simon coming in to instigate a sack. And 2nd and 19 is the result of that, as the Pirates are in trouble. I mean, they've been in trouble for a while, but I think they could probably acknowledge that now they really are in trouble. But there goes Gold Rush. Cherry Gold Rush's first touch of the day makes 50 yards and some solid progress there as the quarterback came under pressure. But with only 2 minutes left in the game, it's too late. I'm not even going to ask the rhetorical question, is it too late? No, it is. It's too late. This is over. There's Anis getting a 6-yard catch. Fine, prove me wrong. I mean, all right, I said 9, you got 6. I mean, okay, fine. 2nd down now and 4. Smith. Oh, damaged. And Princess Pioneer, 3 sacks from 3 different players. You like to see it. You like to see the pressure being spread around there, but that's a 3rd and 15. 2 of 3 on the 3rd down conversions today. Thank you there, pop-up stats number. Smith looking downtown. Has the catch. Gold Rush in. 39 yards. Nicely done. But it's too little too late. There's no comebacks going on now. There's a minute and 9 seconds remaining. There's 2 points. That's helpful. Gold Rush again. Oh, it's like they've only just discovered the players on the team. Yeah. Maybe make that discovery a little earlier on, and you'll do better. And there's the kickoff from Hart. Here's the return from Deck Chair. There's the inevitable instant tackle. Okay, a minute to play. Funbus with the ball. I think we'll see some ground game action here. To just wear the clock down. Yep, there it is. That reverse again. Yeah, that went well. Yeah. Pink Capricorn making the tackle, and no dice there on the reverse. 2nd and 10. 40 seconds left, but hey, took 20 seconds off the clock. That's 20 seconds closer to victory. Pitch out, and Deck Chair's got room to move. Deck Chair still going. Deck Chair still going. At the 5, denied. 66-yard run. Beautiful work, but it didn't go as far as the end zone, and therefore with 9 seconds left to play, we're going to be looking at 1 play, maybe 2, to try and lock in a humiliating Week 1 defeat. 4 seconds left. That was 1 yard. That was a humiliating attempt. Throw it. You've been doing quite well from this. Oh, you're going for the field goal. Well, yeah, that's a novelty. Go on, him. Brilliant. Yeah. Perfect work there. Charles Monkey Cage missing from 20 yards. And that will bring us to the final score. A big opener there for the Funbus. 521 passing yards for Port Miggins, but they could not make the score as the Funbus make it happen. As we go to the summary screen, you'll see consistent play throughout the entire game. 2 touchdowns in each quarter for Sunshine, and only 1 in the last, but they didn't need it by that point. Will Smith, 29 attempts, 27 completions, 521 yards and 7 touchdowns. Oh, mama. Didn't win the game, though, did you? No, didn't win the game. Riviera, though, for the Funbus, only 6 touchdowns. Oh, only 386 yards passing. Oh, dear. But they won the game. Ah, there is that. But then a special teams return will always do that kind of thing for you. And that's pretty good. 553 total yards, plays 513. The final score count there. As we look at the player stats that we've got going on. Smith passing to Anis was the story of the day. Everybody else got 2 pass receptions, apart from the fullback, Deviant, who we never saw at all. 1 running attempt. Beg your pardon, 4 rushing attempts, 3 of which came from the quarterback. Well, that's a choice. As we look at the Pirates' defense, only 2 tackles for loss. Everything else, all of the tackles coming in the secondary and from the linebackers. Not a massive amount to report on that front. Over to the special teams now. 1 return of 14 yards was the best we had for the day. And a single punt that was worth 29 yards. Should have just gone for it. As we flip over to the Funbus. 11 of 11 for Riviera, a solid performance. Averaging over 30 yards a pass, over 35 yards a pass. Party Boy with 264 yards looks very dangerous indeed. Very, very dangerous indeed. Deck Chair on the ground also looking pretty impressive at this early stage in the season. No, you didn't want that button, you wanted this one. As we look defensively, 3 sacks from 2 from linemen, 1 from a linebacker there. And tackles for loss galore, including Puckeye, who arguably defensive MVP of the day. Loads of tackles for loss. Plenty of action broken up there, and it goes to show what happens when you actually invest in a defensive player. Then we've got the special teams, of course, and Puckeye also nailing that 65-yard punt return for a touchdown. And this is a big game that has gone the way of the Funbus. Catching up on other games now, and we're looking at the Stegonauts versus the Minstrels. The Stegonauts, an easy victory for them, 30-0, the final score. It's majestic. Toots majestic. 134 yards and 3 touchdowns. It really leads the way offensively, but neither team particularly delivering anywhere at all. The Minstrels, rigid there, making 10 tackles, so I guess that's kind of standout. But a bit of a nothing game for the Minstrels, and they'll be looking at their game plan to see how they can improve it next week. The Bumps and Medics are taking on Cheerio Incorporated, and 23-14 victory for them. Bumpson only tried 1, well, they tried 2 passes, completed 1. Rush first much? Well, when you've got Exponential Tyrone in the backfield, 36 rushes, 262 yards and 2 touchdowns. Why wouldn't you? Remarkable performance there on the ground for the Medics. I can't wait to see them in action. Receiving, there's nothing really happening there. Both teams having 1 player who'd managed to lock in 9 tackles. Pretty respectable. Colonel Skull managed to deliver a shutout against the Ov City Axemen, but there was really not much in it. Only 12-0 the final score. Mina Failure, 107 yards for Ov City, 13 of 32 passes. You question whether they have the receiving core necessary to make much of an impact at all. Father Tempest for Colonel Skull was no better, 11 of 21, 145 yards. On the ground, Wild Pinkler, 12 rushes, 84 yards for Ov City. But Colonel Skull managing to get it done. Buck Dungeons is your defensive leader for this game, having caused 1 sack and the tackle for loss associated with that, and 7 tackles along the way. Bit of a nothing game, both teams looking for offense. In the Sports Ball Union versus Red Star Pathfinders, it is the Union who come up with the win, 13-6, another low-scoring game. Thurman Trainboy for Sports Ball passing only 100 yards. But then, quarterback running, oh yeah, that's a dual threat wherever you see it. 15 rush attempts, 94 yards and a touchdown. And that was the difference between the 2 teams. Excitingly enough, it was Joe Stein baffled for Sports Ball Union with 2 tackles, a sack. That was, in fact, a safety that made the difference on the defence, although Laveau there for the Pathfinders, 3 sacks on the day. That's some big defensive performances right there in a league not renowned for its defence. The The Picks Creek Miners are taking on the Erg Melonflex Chroniclers, and the Chroniclers managed to pull it together in the second half to win 18-3. Ziggy Whippet for the Miners, 143 yards, but only completing 16 of 36 is not that respectable. Hansi Hinterseer for the Chroniclers, 122 yards off just over a 50% completion rate. Not spectacular, but it's that man put Dexels for the Chroniclers, 15 rushes, 77 yards and 2 touchdowns. Got the job done. Then, of course, you look defensively, and the Chroniclers' Ham managed to get 2 sacks on the day as well, which will no doubt have stifled some of those minor drives. Well, it's all go in the Budget Roadies against the Bongolia Sea Raiders. Budget coming up with what looks like a relatively easy win, 23-9. Joe Cannon passing for only 60 yards, but Barry Whiteknuckle, 130 on the ground, got it done. The Sea Raiders didn't try any rushing whatsoever. Ron Bongo's the quarterback, passing 43 times, completing 24 of them for 260 yards and a touchdown. It wasn't really enough, and obviously that leaves them vulnerable when the time comes. Not least of all when you look at Nexus T. Nexus, the defensive lineman for the Budget Roadies, who got 3 sacks and a safety over the course of the game. Pretty impressive stuff there. The Grunt Auto Group drop a clanger to the Colonel Space Agency, 17-7 the final score. Neither team putting up much yardage, but it was, I think if you were going to call out a player, it would be Savvy Cromulent for the Space Agency. 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, making an impact in a game that really didn't liven up at any point at all. Peninsula Transport get completely shut down by the Lingo Blend All-Stars, 25-0 the final score. Papal Event Horizon passing for the transport team, completing only 9 of 27 attempts for 77 yards. That's respectable yardage off only 9 completions, but that's only 9 completions off 28 attempts, and that's not going to cut it. Flapjack Nope for the All-Stars, passed 141 yards and a touchdown, 17 of 27 a completion rate. Again, not that remarkable. Nothing really happening on the ground. You would expect to see more from the likes of Quebec Spire for the All-Stars, but 14 rushes and only 57 yards. It's not that great. Bulldozer Power managed to inflict a loss on their perennial challengers, the Beekeepers, 20-8 the final score. BDP taking their time to get started, not really kicking off until the second half. You're looking at Surgeon General for the Beekeepers leading the way offensively, but 5 of 12 passes. Again, another lackluster passing performance. Des Eyeliner, maybe a little bit better for BDP, but when you turn your attention to the ground game, 39 rush attempts for Ulysses Failure and 220 yards and 2 touchdowns. That'll do. Devon Midges on the Beekeepers managed to grab 3 tackles for loss along the way, but Zoltan for Bulldozer Power, 2 sacks over the course of the game. So as we look at the team standings in Bad Company, over in Bad Company West, the Steganauts are out front, 30-0 their opening score. Grazer Ridge in second, 61-33. As you can see, the live games racking up significantly higher scores, and over the course of the season, we should get to see every team in action at least once. That's the hope. It all comes down to how I plan out the coverage, but I mean, I could well get that. Anyway, the Beekeepers and Failurewood Hills both looking for their first win, having both of them scored 8 points only. In Bad Company East, it's the Roadies and Sunshine Funbus leading the way. The Roadies with a 23-9 victory gives them a bit of an edge over the Sunshine Funbus, who, while they may have scored highly, couldn't quite keep the opposition out of the end zone. Grunt Auto Group 7-17. Their points for and against there, they're looking for a bounce back in their next game. Peninsula Transport, well, they could be struggling. Failure to score in the first week is not a good sign. In Bad Company North, it is the Bumson Medics out front with the Sports Ball Union of City Axemen and Picks Creek Miners looking for that first win when they can get it. Pinging our way over to Fail Brigade, and the Nomads 46-8 victory is a monster, arguably the biggest scoreline this week. Bulldozer Power also winning, while the Stardozer Human Resources managed to get 61 points inflicted against them, and the Wretched Minstrels entirely shut out. They're going to be looking for some way to try and find anything to hope that they'll manage to get back into this season. In the East, the Lingo Blend All-Stars and Colonel Space Agency both won their openers, while the Port Miggins Pirates and Bongolia Sea Raiders failed to come up with a victory in Week 1. The Pirates look pretty capable. And they'll be hoping to be able to turn some of that offensive production into some points and ideally wins later on in the year. Finally, in Fire Brigade South, you've got the Chroniclers and Colonel School up front. Neither team having scored that many points, but neither team getting some on-camera action. The Pathfinders and Cheerio Inc. are chasing down their first win, but neither of them really lost by all that much. As we look at our league leaders, it is Will Smith for the Pirates who is out in front by a long way. That's completions. What we want is yardage here. 121 extra yards over the second place Nova Wild for the Grazers. It's probably not surprising that the teams that were appeared on camera this week are the ones that lead the way for yardage. This is also obviously going to be true when you look at touchdowns. That's pretty some pretty scary numbers. But again, we will be aiming to show off just as many matches as we can to get through the season and give everybody an equal chance at getting their name in lights and ratcheting up those yards. If you were to look at people who really shouldn't be passing, it's Gonzalez for the Wretched Minstrels, having thrown 7 interceptions. Who may want to think about a new career path of some kind, a rating of 0. A 0 rating for your quarterback. So good. Your top receivers of the week, it's Anis and Touchdown, Party Boy, Liability. We saw them all in action, and we saw just how explosive they could be. Anis receiving 17 catches this week is remarkable stuff. I don't know if they're going to continue to target that receiver with just as many passes as they have done, but it's impressive stuff. On the ground, it's Exponential Tyrone for the Bumps and Medics. 36 attempts, 262 yards. That's very nice. Thank you very much. We'll take it. Ahead of Ulysses Failure for Bulldozer Power, 220 and 2 touchdowns as well. The average, a 1.6 yard difference between the pair of them, but both these two look like they're going to be in the running all year, both figuratively and literally. Sledgehammer Esquire played pretty well for the Nomads in the game that we saw earlier on, and Barry Whiteknuckle for the Budget Roadies also had a respectable performance. On defence, Devon Midges for the Beekeepers managed to knock in 14 tackles. A busy day there with Eunice Ultramarines for Grazer Ridge. We saw her in action earlier on, 12 tackles for her. Downtown for the Pathfinders and Rigid for the Minstrels, also rocking up a double-digit tackling week. When it comes to tackles for loss, well, there's a lot of three-pointers in the tackles for loss, most of them occurring in the televised games. And we'll have to see if there's any standout players who happen to emerge over the course of the season. Turning our attention to sacks, and Nexus had a splendid week for the Roadies. Knocking in 3 sacks and inflicting a safety along the way. Laveau for the Pathfinders, playing from linebacker, also landed 3 sacks. Very nice. I'm sure they're going to be pleased with that performance. 3 safeties in this first week maybe suggest that there is some room for improvement on offensive lines, but we didn't see those games, so it's hard to tell for sure. Deflected passes, though, is often a key to shutting down the offense of a team, and it was Eunice Ultramarines who, with 6 deflections, managing to come up with the goods. A little bit more talent or practice there from Ultramarines, and we could be seeing those deflections turn into interceptions, which is a big deal. Speaking of interceptions, and it's Bandit Joe, the free safety for the Stegonauts, with 2 interceptions, and his teammate, Ian Malcolm, also landing another 2 interceptions for the Stegonauts in their game this week. When it comes to punt returns, we're looking at 3 touchdowns this week, and we saw all of them happen. Bam Bam Puckeye for the Funbus, running back 65 yards. Sledgehammer Esquire for the Nomads, 106 yards in total, but that included a touchdown as well. And then Bernadette Mistakes for Grazer Ridge with a touchdown of her own as well. Kick returns, we only saw 1, and it's that man Johnny Touchdown who got it done. We're going to be seeing a lot more of him this season. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if he were to be leading the way come the year end. Not an awful lot of field goals attempted throughout the league, but it's Gaz Pumpit for the Budget Roadies and Lou Prowess at the Bumps and Medics. Attempting 2, landing 2. Looks to me like our longest may have been a 40-plus yarder. Have we got any 50s in there? No 50s. A 40-plus yarder for the Roadies. Mr. Pumpit there managing to land 3 points for his team. Your offensive player of the week is Imane Anis, the wide receiver for Port Miggins. 282 yards and 5 touchdowns. We saw the game, we saw the action. That's insane. Defensively, it is Eunice Ultramarines. No surprises there. 6 deflected passes for Grazer Ridge along with 12 tackles. That's the kind of performance that takes your team to the championship. Our featured games in week 2, you're going to get to see the full action from Cheerio Incorporated against the Stegonauts. And then we'll have highlights from Colonel School against the Bumps and Medics, Red Star Pathfinders against the Ov City Axemen. I've been Colonel Failure. Be sure to tune in next week for all of the action from the Electrosports Gridiron League. Thanks for watching. Cheerio.